Hello everybody. This week we're going to have sort of a novelty video. I don't normally get involved in radios and stereos and the like, but this belongs to a friend of mine, and she says that when she switches it on, nothing happens. So I'm going to power it on and switch it to the different positions. There's meant to be like a CD and an AM and an FM stereo, I think. So let's try it. Okay, so in any of those positions, we're not getting any power or any signs of life at all. Let's take out the power board and have a look at it and see if we can get this working.
Working on electronic circuits comes with a risk of serious injury. This video is for educational purposes only. Please do not attempt to work on any electrical circuits unless you have the required training and experience. Do not attempt repairs yourself. Thank you.
I've worked on a few of these stereos and they all seem to be similar. They have a small little power board, just a switch mode power supply for generating a DC voltage, and then they have a main board that carries out all of the audio work. This is the switch mode power supply for our stereo. So what we should be getting here is 230 volts AC, because I'm in Ireland, and on the output we should be getting something like 12 volts DC out here. But what I'm going to do is take a few measurements from this board and see if we are getting anywhere close to a 12 volt DC output. So with my stereo connected to power, the first measurement that I need to take is at this DC output right here. As you can see, there's two cables that bring this voltage to our main audio board, but we need to establish if we're getting the correct DC voltage here. So I introduce my multimeter in volts DC in the 20 volt range. I place my black probe to the ground pin, which is this pin right here. I place my red probe to the other pin, which is our positive voltage pin, and when I measure there, I find that we have 2.50 volts. There are no markings on the board to tell me what the DC output should be for this switch mode power supply, but I have worked on one of these similar stereos before, and the output from the switch mode power supply to the audio board is usually 12 volts DC. I flipped the board over and checked the filter capacitors on this DC power rail, and they are marked 16 volts. So I think it is a 12 volt output, and they have a bit of headroom by putting in a 16 volt filter capacitor. And since we know that it is a 12 volt power rail and we are only getting 2.50 volts, we know that this is the problem. That voltage is way too low. I disconnected the audio board to make sure that it wasn't the load that was dragging the power supply down. With the audio board disconnected, I'm still getting 2.50 volts. So it appears that we have a problem with this switch mode power supply. Okay, so the first thing that we need to check is that we're getting the correct AC input voltage. If we check on these two pins right here, we can see that these are AC2 and AC1, and these are where our pins come in from the mains. So with our multimeter this time in volts AC, and my multimeter has a 750 and a 200 voltage AC range, I obviously need to put it into 750 volts AC for this measurement. And I place my black probe to one of the AC pins. I place my other probe to the other AC pin, and we find that we have 230.1 volts AC. So our input voltage from the mains is good. So we've confirmed that we have a good mains input from our AC mains. What do we need to do next? Well, the next check we need to carry out is to confirm that that AC mains voltage is making it to our bridge rectifier, which converts that 230 volts AC to approximately 320 DC. So as you can see, with AC1, it's directly connected to one pin of our bridge rectifier. I'm going to mark that in with a blue wire, because that is the color that we use for the AC neutral wire here in Ireland. AC2, which is our live wire, comes across this track here and then jumps across here with a fusible resistor and connects then to the other pin of our bridge rectifier. So the next check I want to carry out is to confirm that we have that same 230 volts that we measured across our input pins across the input pins of our bridge rectifier. So let's do that next. So we introduce our multimeter in volts AC in the 750 volt range. We place our black probe to one of the pins of the input on our bridge rectifier and place the red probe to the other input of our bridge rectifier, and we find that this measures 160 volts AC. So we have confirmed already that we are getting the correct AC input to this board, but when we check the input pins on our bridge rectifier, we are only getting 160 volts, not the 230 volts that is being delivered from the mains. And when I check the DC output from that bridge rectifier, we are only getting 100 volts DC. There should be 320 volts DC on the other side, so there's obviously a problem before this point. So since we are getting our 230 volts AC here, and we are only getting 160 volts across here, the first component I want to look at is the component between here and here. So let's flip over the board and have a look at that component. And this is that component that is sitting between the AC and one of the pins of the bridge rectifier. So as you can see, it's marked RF1 here. So I think that is a fusible resistor. A fusible resistor has two jobs. First of all, it acts as a resistor during normal operation, and it acts as a fuse when excessive current flows through it. There actually is other markings underneath it which are really helpful. You can't see it here with the way I took the photo, but I actually typed them out afterwards. So what it says is 10 ohm, 1 watt, F901. So this should be a 10 ohm fusible resistor. So let's measure it and see if it is measuring 10 ohms. And this is what that fusible resistor looks like when I remove it from the board. So we want to switch our multimeter into resistance mode. We place our black probe to one side of the fusible resistor and a red probe to the other side, and we find that it measures 50 mega ohms. So this is meant to measure 10 ohms, but it's gone high resistance and is now measuring 50 mega ohms. Now, one thing that's slightly unusual here is usually when we have a fuse at this position, the fuse blows completely. So you'll have 230 here and 0 volts AC here, and you can quickly identify that the fuse is blown. But what's happened with this fusible resistor is it has basically gone high resistance. It hasn't blown completely and left an open circuit there. It has gone to very high resistance, so it's actually limiting the amount of AC that gets through here, which then limits the amount of DC coming through here. So this is the component that I'm going to replace the fusible resistor with. This is a 10 ohm resistor. It's 2 watt, so it's double the wattage of the previous one. And as you can see, it's a through hole resistor that looks a similar shape to the previous one. Now, we also saw earlier on that the fusible resistor does two jobs in one component. It acts as a resistor during normal operation. This is it functioning as an inrush limiter, and it also acts as a fuse. This resistor I'm using here is not a fusible resistor, it's just a standard resistor, but we already have a fuse in the plug that I'm connecting it to the mains with, so we still do have protection with that fuse. So as you can see, I have replaced the fusible resistor with my 10 ohm 2 watt resistor, and we're now going to try and power this on. I have temporarily left the power board outside of the stereo, but I can actually run the wire into the back of it. But let's power it on and see what happens.
From within the family, that's fantastic, that's great.
Okay.
For instance, what I want in a lot of scenarios, I'm not talking about these 5 ways, but in a lot.
Okay, so the stereo is in fact working again. I don't want to turn that up too loud in case I get a copyright strike. That's just talk radio that you can hear in there.
There's never been a concerted attempt.
So it looks like that's all that was wrong with it, just a fusible resistor. And just for future reference, these are the voltages I measured when the stereo is working. So on the AC input, we have 230 volts AC. After replacing the fusible resistor with a good resistor, we now have 230 volts AC on the input pins of our bridge rectifier. After rectification, we have 305 volts DC on the output pins of that bridge rectifier. And if we check for the DC voltage that is then going to our audio board, we find that we have 9.5 volts across those pins. So that's all I got for this week, guys. I'm not sure if I would have gone to all of this effort if I'd realised at the start that this was just a fusible resistor, but it is what it is, as they say. I don't have a lot to work on next week. I just don't have the time to go do all the horse trading for buying boards secondhand from people at the moment. If you have something that you would like to work on with our Help Us Subscriber series, just contact me on the repairshare@gmail.com and we might be able to make a video out of the content. I'll be back with something hopefully next week.